Pause briefly. If you are 60 or older, or if you know somebody who is, what I'm about to share here in the next few minutes could directly affect how much money hits your bank account this month. Beginning now, the Social Security Administration has officially rolled out one of the largest rule updates in years, and millions of American seniors have simply no clue it's happening. We're talking about updates that could raise your monthly benefit or quietly lower what you've been counting on, depending on whether you know what to do right now. And here's what truly concerns me. Many people won't find out until it's much harder to do anything about it. Now, I've spent a long time boiling down government policy into clear, simple English. No confusing jargon, no runaround, just direct answers that you and your family can actually use. In this video, I'm going to guide you through clearly what changed today, who it affects, what you need to check on your account immediately, and the practical steps you can take to protect every dollar you've worked your whole life to earn. You deserve to know the facts. You deserve straight answers, and you deserve to keep every single cent you're due. If you believe seniors deserve clear, honest information, press that like button right now and let's get into it. Now, before we dive in, I just want to take a second and say thank you for joining us. Seriously, because the fact that you showed up today, that you took time out of your day to get informed, that already puts you ahead of millions of Americans who are going to wake up this month totally surprised by what is happening right now inside the Social Security Administration. And I don't say that to alarm you. I say that because I want you to understand just how important the next few minutes really are. So, let's talk about what is actually going on. The Social Security Administration, the SSA, has officially adopted a new set of rule updates that took effect starting today. Now, when most people hear the words rule change, they check out. They think it's some dull government paperwork that doesn't really affect their day-to-day life. But I'm here to tell you with full confidence that this is not one of those moments. These updates are not just administrative tweaks. They are not just bureaucratic reshuffling. These are concrete, real-world policy changes that are going to directly affect your monthly check, your spousal benefits, your work history calculations, and in some cases, your Medicare coordination as well. And every single one of those items matters to you personally. Let me start from the very beginning because I think the clearest way to understand what changed is to first understand how the Social Security system calculates your benefit in the first place. Quite a few folks, even those who have been receiving benefits for years, don't fully understand how their monthly payment is actually determined. And honestly, that isn't your fault. The government doesn't exactly give you a clear, plain English explanation when you sign up. So let me lay it out for you right now in a way that actually makes sense. When you work across your life and pay into Social Security through your payroll taxes, the SSA is maintaining a record of every single year you worked and how much you earned. At the end of your working life, they take your top 35 years of earnings, adjust those earnings for inflation, and use a standard formula to calculate what's called your primary insurance amount, your PIA. That PIA becomes the basis of your monthly Social Security check. Everything else, your age when you claim, whether you're married, whether you worked after claiming, all of that either adds to or subtracts from that starting figure. Now, here is where today's updates start to become especially relevant. One of the key changes that the SSA has put into place involves how certain earnings are indexed and calculated in that 35-year record. For years, there have been advocates, legislators, and retired workers arguing that the way the SSA treated certain types of employment, particularly for people who worked in jobs that didn't withhold Social Security taxes, like certain state and local government positions, was plainly unfair. And starting today, a major fix for that unfairness has officially gone into effect. You may have heard of something called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or the WEP. And you may also have heard of the government pension offset, known as the GPO. These two rules have been the source of serious frustration and financial strain for millions of American retirees, particularly retired teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public servants. For decades, these rules reduced and in some cases nearly eliminated the Social Security benefits of people who also collected a government pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security. Imagine working your entire life paying into Social Security through other jobs and then having your check cut simply because you also had a public pension. It felt like a penalty for serving your community. And for many retirees, it was financially devastating. As of today, that chapter is coming to an end. The repeal of the WEP and GPO provisions, which was signed into law and is now being implemented by the SSA, means that millions of affected retirees and their spouses are going to see their monthly Social Security benefits rise, and in some cases, significantly rise. We are talking about people who have been getting reduced benefits for years, sometimes decades, who are now going to start receiving a larger monthly payment. And for surviving spouses who had their spousal or survivor benefits wiped out entirely by the GPO, this update is nothing less than life-changing. Now, I want to make sure we're very clear about who this affects, because I've been getting quite a few questions about this. If you worked in a public service job, a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, a state worker, a municipal worker, and your employer did not deduct Social Security taxes from your paycheck, and you also earned Social Security credits through other employment, then the WEP most likely affected your benefit calculation. And if you are the spouse or widow or widower of someone in that situation, the GPO may have seriously reduced or eliminated the spousal or survivor benefits you were entitled to. Both of those situations are now being fixed. The SSA is currently working through its systems to identify affected beneficiaries and make the appropriate adjustments. But here's the crucial thing I need you to hear. This is not going to happen automatically for everyone without some action on your part. For some people, the adjustments will come through automatically once the SSA updates its records, but for others, particularly those who haven't yet filed, or those whose employment records may be incomplete or unclear, you may need to contact the SSA directly, provide documentation of your government employment, and make sure your case is being reviewed. I will go over exactly how to do that in just a few minutes. So please stay with me. Let's talk about something else that changed today, because the WEP and GPO repeal is not the only major update taking effect. The SSA has also rolled out updates to how it handles what's called substantial gainful activity, or SGA. Now, SGA is the threshold that defines whether someone on Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI, is considered to be working too much to qualify for benefits. This threshold is updated periodically to reflect shifts in the national average wage, and the 2026 adjustment has moved that number upward. What that means in practical terms is that if you are receiving SSDI and you have been doing some part-time or limited work, the new higher threshold gives you a bit more breathing room before your disability benefits are affected. This is an important and welcome change for the many Americans who rely on disability benefits but want to maintain some level of work and independence. There is also an update to the retirement earnings test, which is the rule that affects people who are under their full retirement age and are still working while collecting Social Security. For years, this rule has caused confusion and frustration. If you claim Social Security before reaching your full retirement age and you continue working and earning above a certain limit, the SSA temporarily withholds a portion of your benefits. The important word there is temporarily. The money isn't lost forever. It gets added back into your benefit calculation once you reach full retirement age. But in the meantime, it can feel like a financial squeeze. The 2026 update has raised the exempt earnings thresholds, meaning you can earn a bit more from work before any temporary withholding kicks in. This is particularly helpful for the growing number of seniors who are choosing to work part-time in retirement, whether out of financial need or simply because they enjoy staying active and engaged. And speaking of retirement ages and timing, this is something I want to spend a few minutes on because it is one of the most important decisions any retiree can make. And the 2026 rules bring some details that are worth understanding clearly. As most of you know, you can start claiming Social Security retirement benefits as early as age 62. But if you claim early, your monthly benefit is permanently reduced, lowered for every month you claim before your full retirement age, which for most people currently falls somewhere between